Hello and welcome to this edition of Nerdy Thursday. Big Sky 35. Be doing some pickups, talking a little bit about playing little video games. Finished Last of Us. I think Bad Batch might have a couple more, but I've caught up to where that is. I started watching uh, the Black Panther, the second one. Uh, they did my internet went kablooey on me, but so I gave up on that. Sometimes my Disney Plus, I don't know if it just takes so much to run it or what. Uh, Sometimes my internet crashes when I'm watching sometimes on there. Sometimes it works fine, but it was messing up. So, and it was very slow moving at the beginning of that, to be honest. Man, I mean, Crawl. I I'm not a big Marvel fan anyway. I mean, I am. I like all of them, but you have to fanboy for one or the other. So I'm more of a DC guy, uh, but it's I know it's not many of us out there that'll admit it, but uh, that's what I grew up on. But it was just very slow moving, but I love the tribute that they played to the first Black Panther. I forget the gentleman's name. Shame on me. I do that. I'm terrible with names. When it comes to that, if I'm not personally invested in the person, but I think that was awesome. How Marvel or Disney and Marvel usually they show a lot of the different characters in the Marvel world. They just showed him. They highlighted him with like no music. It was nicely done, and it took me a half a second to realize that was what we were doing, what they were doing. But once I did, it was a little moving. It was nice, and then the tribute they played at the beginning of the movie, having him, move on. That was nicely done. I give that one kudos. But hopefully when I get back into it, it'll because it was starting to go when it and I forget it was me and my dad. We ended up watching some type of Ghost Hunters thing on my Amazon Prime. We both sit there and laugh at that type of stuff. But we but I did finish watching Last of Us. For somebody who has not played the game yet, which I will, but man, I get my baseball game tomorrow. Uh, let's see, and then that'll be tomorrow, and so I pre-ordered it, so I get it 4 days early. It comes out on the 28th, but I can go pick mine up on the 24th. Then I bought 2K23 wrestling and have every intention to jump into it, but I'll just go ahead and tell you now, I got back into playing Gotham Knights. The TV show's just released. Had not started watching the TV show yet, but I got a little bit more in depth with it. I'm still trying to learn like all the like RPG things of it, but I started switching up who I was playing with and who fights and better in what modes. I've been playing with was it Red Red Hood. Last don't like his fighting style. Don't know what he's good for. But so they got like Batgirl, who's really good with sneak and electronics. Robin's real good with sneaking around and getting and Nightwing is really good at everything. So he's your all around guy. And then So that I've been playing that and been having some fun with it. I'll probably get on for a little bit before I go to work today. That's kind of my before I go to work game. I've been kind of not 100% out of, but taking a break from the cards. Not altogether. I mean, I still search. I've just thought about always doing something. Usually when I'm at home, I'm sitting around watching TV. I just start, But when I'm watching TV at night, that's when I'm doing that. But during the day, I'm trying to stay away from it because I tend to sit and just don't get anything else done. And yeah, playing video games isn't the answer, but it's one step away of trying to be more, move around a little bit more when I'm at home and doing other stuff. Let's see, Last of Us watched it. Yeah, they're really happy about telling everybody that giraffe in the last scene or in that last episode was real. I mean, yay. So my dad was here with me. I was getting ready for my colonoscopy that day, and that's what we were doing. We were sitting there just binge watching stuff, and he was had last two episodes of The Last of Us, and he wanted to know what was going on. And every time somebody, is that the bad guy? Is that the bad guy? And I kept telling him his perspective, and that's the way it is. It's how do you look at it? I mean, the guy that's supposed to be the good guy is going around killing everybody because the little girl, they want to save the world with her, and it's all perspective. Who at that point, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy? We just get emotionally attached to these characters, so we tend to root for them. But in reality, I'm like, go ahead and kill her. If it's going to save millions of people, you're what's left of the population. I'm sorry. I mean, that's the way I would do for me. Yeah, go ahead, take part of my brain. I don't, whatever you need to do. But I just and then he finally because he was getting frustrated because we watched that and we were watching it was something else, and I said it's all perspective. These new movies and TV shows, because I've always said Walking Dead. If you were following Negan and his group, and you had uh, the other group come in and wipe out one of his sentry posts, who's the bad guy? It's kind of what side you're on, perspective, and it always is with those type of shows when it's to do anything to survive type of deal. Uh, but it was all right. Last of Us, all right. I guess I read something too. The season 2 might not be out till 2025. Um, my gosh, how did they keep Ellie? I mean, she's about that age now. The girl that plays her, she's at that age now where she's gonna. I don't know how you hide all of her changes. Uh, but that's it's going to be like what's her face in Hogwarts. Uh, she'll be a little girl, then not a little girl real soon. But it really fun. Oh, I know we were watching Mandalorian, so I caught up on the Mandalorian, and I was like, you know that voice to my dad. I was like, it's the same guy that was playing the dad, the other, or playing the father figure. He's not the dad, but he's the father figure in the other one. He thought that was pretty trippy, but it was fun to watch with somebody who had no clue what was going on. I mean, last time he watched Star Wars was probably in the 80s. So uh, that was fun. Different perspective on how to view things. It was hard for me to explain who was the good guy and who was the bad guy. So uh, yeah, a little bit easier in the Mandalorian because that's just black and white most of the time, but not in some of those other shows. Um, Mandalorian, pretty good. I kind of like the way it's going. I've watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of that. I was caught up. I don't know if they've had another episode this week. I don't know what nights they release. I kind of watch them on the weekends. Um, and that pretty good. The first one I was like, oh, this is gonna be you know, I think it's about time for Grogu to start talking. I think he finally said like his first word, maybe. Uh I just think that is kind of gone its course with me. It was cute. I'm not about cute. I'm about story. I'm about very good story. Um, it's starting to be where what's his story? How does he fit into this? Um, because it's a Mandalorian story, and I know part of Mandalorian story is you can be adopted into the family, which almost all of them are now, and from outside they become their youngling. But I'm still trying to grasp all that. And for that dude to be the Mandalorian and a tough guy, man, does he get himself in bad situations where somebody else has to save him a lot. When that goes, he's a complete idiot. he's the dumbest guy ever. So that was kind of funny. Uh, you haven't watched TV until you sat down with my dad and watched TV. Uh, sometimes I have to rewind it because he talks over it. I can't. He's very boisterous. Uh, so I don't know where I get it from. But it's kind of funny. And then let's see what else. Anything else that I have done kind of in that world? Pretty much that's it. I did play. I was telling you I was playing the Commando. For the Star Wars Commando, which is this right here, which I picked up one of the figures from that game. It is Star Wars Republic Commando. This is RC1140 Fixer. I got a couple of these figures now. I like to pick them all up. They had this at GameStop. And also I don't like how they're packing the new packaging. Doesn't have the window on all of them. They're just completely cardboard. So now you have to take them out, I guess, to display them. I don't like that. I want to keep them in the package. I want to keep them as pristine as possible. I these figures, yeah, I guess you can play. I have seen where people are making dioramas with them and taking these figures, especially like the plain white ones or some of the base ones, and doing their own thing, own painting and stuff like that. I've been watching a little bit. I'm not that artistic. I can't. I'm not good. I just ruin it. But that's been neat to watch people that know what they're doing. I've been watching how they do it. Maybe I'll buy one cheap at my local McKay's and try it out one day. But yeah, another game that I got was Contra Collection, Anniversary Collection from Living It Run Games. So I got that. And I also, when they send it, they also send a card. And they just throw the card into a bubble mailer with it. It doesn't even have protect. I put the sleeve on it. So if you get it, and this one seems pretty minty, but I mean, this is just going to go. I have where I collect these. So this will just go probably in one of my Zevelios with other ones I have. If it was one of my Star Wars, I'd probably get it graded if it looked that good. And then I did pick up. I have a place called Retroid Collect video games here and vinyl. Very small store. It could probably fit in my living room of my apartment. Maybe take the bath or kitchen to this area up. But it's packed full of stuff. Anything from last gen back, you can find there. I'm collected for the Dreamcast. They do have color Dreamcast there, which I want to say they were only released in Asia. The colored ones were. I thought in America it was only white and the 2K. I want the 2K. I would like to find it complete in box. Because I like to play I got a white one. It's runs great. But there's 2K ones that came with the basketball game. I've got the basketball game. I just would like to get that model. So I picked up this cheap Omega Squad Spec Ops 2 action adventure. And I do have an app on my phone that I catalog all these into. Very nice. I think there is one for sports cards, but you have to pay for it. This is free. It has ads and stuff on it, but very nice. And if you're interested in that, just hit me up below. And it also, like, if you look it up, if you're like in a store, you can scan the barcode theoretically. I can't get that to work very well, but it'll look up the pricing of what it is on Price Chart. Price Chart is awesome for video games. If you're looking for video games, pricecharting.com. Very good it's another app that I keep on my phone. Crazy Taxi 2. It's just funny how they can do that real easily for a lot of these video games and stuff like that. It connects right to eBay. So tells you kind of what it's going for on eBay. It doesn't tell you, what it's going, but it gives you an idea. And then Crazy Taxi 2 was a little pricey. When I looked it up, even online, I mean, that's pretty much what it's going for. They did give me a discount in there. I think they gave me the Spec Ops for free, the way it came out. And then Hidden Dangerous. I'd never heard of this. It just looked pretty cool. I mean, I'm trying to collect them all. This one need a new jewel case, kind of busted. But once I find out, like, that's going to be last on my list. Once I get nicer jewel cases for. But yeah, and I mean, again, I told you before, you always want to look for disc rot. This era, PlayStation 2. Well, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and this are in the era now that they're having some issues with disc rot. And what that is, it'll get little pinholes in it, and it won't play. And just some issues. I've had a couple of PlayStation 1 games with that issue. And they don't know what causes it, really. They don't know if it's like oxidation, just oxygen in the air attacking, probably something in on a disc itself or what. Because video games don't like salt water air, they don't like sunlight. It's, you want to keep them. And that's that stuff they were thinking about when they were making them. They weren't thinking longevity. They were thinking about the best way and cheapest way to make the product to get it out to the people. Because they sell the video, most of the time the consoles are sold at a loss and they make their money back on selling the video games. I did buy a couple of pops, and this is the bad thing. I bought these first two, and I can't remember where I bought them at. I'm almost positive I bought them at McKay's, which I talk about a lot here in Winston-Salem, Greensboro area. It's a secondhand store for hobbyists, where you can sell or trade in stuff, which I've done in the past when I downsized. They get the same Trooper. I try to find exclusives and stuff and pristine boxes. I like to look. You see that spring in there. Star Wars pops are always bobbleheads, so you want to make sure they're really secure, because if not, that spring will pop, and then these bobbleheads, once they're out, they don't stay. The spring seems not to stay tight on these. I've noticed. So there's certain things I'm always looking for. And these packages, you can see where people have taken them out try to get them back in, and they don't do a very good job. When you repackage something, a lot of times it's just you're fumbling around, you're off thumbs. Next is going to be Boss and this is a gaming grade, a GameStop exclusive. So this is, another one for the games. Really, really like getting like especially ones now. I kind of now in that groove where that's where I'm at on the pops. And then I had one of these already. I didn't know there was different sets on them. And I'm gonna have one. I got these from a show I went to last week, and what I'm doing right now is taking the pricing off. Now they use those little white sticker gun stickers and put it straight on the plastic wrap that this is in. Now this is the Art Series, Walmart exclusives. So they took the different planets. I have glasses that are made the same way and did Darth Vader. So this is Planet Hoth Vader. And you can see like right there. I got Goo Gone. Goo Gone comes in a tube. You put a little bit on there, let it sit for a minute, and you come back and wipe it off. Doesn't damage anything, and it'll take that right off. It's good for video games, taking stickers off of games and stuff like that. If a lot of people like to keep stickers on. Some people, I don't. I like to keep the stickers that are supposed to be on there, not this type. I meant to take this off before. Sorry, forgot. So, yeah, this one is Mustafar, I should say. Mustafa. Yeah, Lion King. Mustafar, which is his planet where his castle's at. It's also the planet where Obi-Wan Kenobi had the high ground and destroyed him. So I picked up these two. They had a third one, and I can't remember what the planet was, but I thought I had it, and it's not. It's another one that I have. So there's at least four, and I didn't know anything about them. You look at the back. Most time, they'll have the pops in the back, but they don't on this art series. And they came in as hard plastic with a plastic wrapping on it. But just real quick, those stickers. So I'm looking at a couple of figures that were on card. And if you don't know what that means, it's still in the package. Figure on card is their lingo for still in the package. So that's what that means. So probably self explanatory. But anyway, they had the stickers right on the card, and I'm like, how do you get that out? Now, Goo Gone on that type of thing might damage it because it's just cardboard. It does have a wax like covering on it, but still, you don't want to take the wax off of it. You don't want to dull the color. So I was like, why would you put the sticker right on there? And in that type of sticker, if you're gonna, there is stickers that are removable. Those are the ones that you should be using. Not those that or any. I know at least they had it priced. I am happy with that. They had it priced, but and it had some nice stuff there. They had some Star Wars, a lot of pops. I'm very picky on my pops selection, and because I got quite a few now. It's got to be something that really there. I do Star Wars, mainly Darth Vader, Mandalorian ones, the man like of Mandalorians, and not all of them. and Stormtroopers, of course. I try and I do Batman, but I pick up the old school stuff like Batman 66 and some of that. And but I do get some newer ones. I have uh, some White Earps. I got a couple of Doc Hollidays from that. Him doing spinning the cup, and one with them pulling the shotgun, the double barrel out when they were going to the OK Corral. Um, so they're pretty cool. And then I collect. I do Mike Scott's from The Office. I have a couple of them. Uh, a very funny show. Watched them. I love that show. Mike Scott is hilarious. Of course, the actor that plays him is hilarious. But that is also my name, Mike Scott. So it just kind of fits me a little bit. I try to be funny. So that is my collection. My little rant. Not rant. I had a very good. Everybody was gonna think I had a bad time. I had a very good time at that show, but it's just some things that I think we're going backwards a little bit on show etiquette, on how to display things. I think it's all about the quick money, and or sometimes now it feels like people are trying to recoup their money. But if you're going to do it, try to do it right, and then the people that are at the shows, think of others that are around you. Think of the other people that are trying to get to that case. Think of just other people that are walking around that are banging into your Pelican cases. Do you really need to bring? I saw a lot more bring in like I hate the hand poo poos size cases to bring their cards in, and I thought that's a step in the right direction. You probably don't need to bring your whole big case unless it's a trade night or something afterwards. I know you don't want to make two or three trips, but I just think because I stopped taking my backpack at some of these small shows just because ones I know I'm not going to be there for long periods of time because it's no need. I'm only taking 200, which is usually one purchase or two purchases. So usually I just walk around, want to see what's going on, open my ears to the conversations around me, uh, things like that. I know I'm sidetracking, but this show was fun. I thought it was well done. A lot of space, and a lot of nerdy stuff for me to look at, other than baseball cards. So I enjoy that. That's Hickory is in I think another week. They have a large toy section, and that's almost why I'm going to this one. I kind of want to go. I haven't been to that. A couple of other ones they say that, but when you go to this Hickory one, it is toys and not just pops and not just Pokemon cards, which tends to be a lot at these other ones that say that also toys. So with that being said, like to if you have any other comments, suggestions, something I should watch or read. I've been still reading my I just finished another Assassin's Creed book. It was all right. It was there's more to it. I think this is a three book story. Just finished that audio book. I'll probably get the second one here shortly, and then I'm still reading my new zombie book, which I just got into where it's starting to get good, and I haven't been able to pick it back up and get into it, but I will. So until next time, like, share, tell a friend. If you haven't, please subscribe, and I'll see you Saturday. Till then, we'll see.